Press review time here on France 24. Dipty's with me here on set. Not a surprise. She's starting off with the football. We saw those Argentinian fans flooding the streets of Buenos Aires earlier, but the French team came home to a hero's welcome as well, despite that loss to Argentina.
That's right. Thousands of football fans gathered at Place de la Concorde in Paris yesterday to greet the French football team, who were greeted as heroes after that nail-biting World Cup finish. Thank you to the legends. That's what Le Parisien says on its front page today. Le Figaro, another paper, meanwhile, notes that after their World Cup journey, Les Bleus are already focusing on their next goal, that is a Euro Championship in 2024, which will be held in Germany. There are so many of these World Cup things coming up, it's hard to keep track of them.
Very true. French President Emmanuel Macron, he was very present at that World Cup final. A bit too present, according to some of the French press.
Yeah, he's been copping a fair bit of criticism, Stuart, for being overly supportive of the French team, from jumping around in his box on Sunday to cradling a heartbroken Kylian Mbappe, to that pep talk he gave to the players in their locker room after the match. Did he go overboard? Well, that's really the big question that a lot of the French papers are asking. And Libération, a left-wing paper, not surprisingly, says, yes, he did go overboard. They even accuse Emmanuel Macron, who, by running out onto the pitch to console the French players, quote, spoiled a moment of sport that did not deserve any political manipulation. But even on the right-wing, in the right-wing press, there is also a lot of skepticism about his behavior. L'Opinion here says, calls Emmanuel Macron the sacred coach, and says he went beyond his role as president. In this cartoon here, you see him godlike, telling Mbappe to rise and walk, to which Mbappe says he's had his dose of all the Messis in the world right now.
What about the Argentinian press? What are they saying?
Well, of course, you can imagine pure joy and ecstasy in the Argentinian press. One man, one trophy really dominating the front pages. That's Lionel Messi. The Argentine team comes home for a national holiday declared after their World Cup win. So that national holiday is this Tuesday. That's on the front page of Clarin. Meanwhile, Ole, which is a sports paper there, says Papa Lionel has arrived, going with that lone picture of that much coveted trophy. The paper noting that the team are returning to a triumphant welcome for a victory lap or victory tour of Buenos Aires that will be remembered forever.
Let's go to something else. The US now. George Santos, whose election to Congress in November's midterms really helped his Republican Party to their narrow victory, but allegedly, he falsified parts of his resume.
That's right. The Republican was elected to Congress on Long Island last month in the midterms. His victory actually, as you said, Stuart, helped the party get that sort of a majority they needed to get control of the House of Representatives. George Santos is the son of Brazilian immigrants. He's the first openly gay Republican to win a House seat as a non-incumbent. He was supposedly also a seasoned Wall Street financier and investor with a family-owned real estate portfolio, and even having an animal rescue charity. But the New York Times has found through very easily verifiable public documents that there were no records of Santos working at the two Wall Street firms that he had put on his campaign biography, nor is there a record of his graduation from college, nor is there any record of a registration of an animal charity with the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. So it's all a bit mysterious now and very murky. But the Washington Post has a really interesting analysis piece today, and it says it is surprising that all of this escaped the attention of the Democratic public, of the Democrats, because they have a strong vetting process, of course, and all of this information really should have come up well before the midterms, months before the midterms. Why is it coming out only now? And in any case, there are some calls for Santos to be not to be sworn in January, but the Post says they doubt that the Republicans will evict this candidate just because he inflated his resume, especially because he represents a district that voted for Biden in 2020 that is now Republican, which is important going into those 2024 elections.
Yeah, we should see if it comes up again. Finally from Dipty, one World Cup, it may be over, but another one. This is the World Cup of Random Words, launched by one Twitter user.
Yeah, you can thank Lev Parikian for this, whom the Times of London describes as a conductor and writer. He's been running polls on Twitter for the past year for what he calls the World Cup of Random English Words. After 1 million votes, an initial pool of 4,096 words has been whittled down to the final 16. So the winner of the World Cup of Random English Words will be announced on New Year's Day. And here's that round of 16, which any of you Twitter users out there can vote on. Some of the words there: scallywag, whippersnapper, discombobulate. I like that one.
Codswalloper, like.
Yeah, codswallop, balderdash, higgledy-piggledy, rhubarb, which is not a random word. It's a fruit, right, or a vegetable.
Yeah. People kind of use it for other things. I think most of these apply to your press reviews, actually, to say.
Well, they just took it off the screen, but the word I'm backing to win is the second last one. They're bollocks. Really.
Sorry? Okay. You young whippersnapper.
Hey, it's on there. I'm allowed to say it. I do think it does very aptly kind of represent the year that has been 2022.
Well, that's probably true. Yes, hopefully we'll get a snuggle year in 2023.
Hopefully it's not too scurrilous.
Very good. I will go through the whole list. Thanks to the papers here on France 24.